I'm Sidney Gooch.
And I'm Shalita Gooch, and we are back.
Podcast number 6.
Number 6. Woo! We're excited to be back in the studio.
It's been a while for us. About 4 months since we did the last one.
Right. We've been doing a lot of traveling. 4 different states?
Right. And you can see those videos on YouTube. It was a lot of fun doing them.
Right.
A lot of them I'm tired from traveling. We've just been real busy with the kids and all this stuff like that at work.
Kids, work, life.
Everything.
It's been a lot going on. But we're glad to jump back in the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot. It's got a lot of up and coming things.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to share our word is.
So what's the word is?
The word is on the streets is that we are the newest content creators for Newsbreak app. We're excited to give y'all that tidbit. We've been sharing it on some of our social media stuff, but the funny story was we were on vacation.
Right, we were on vacation. She got the email, but she didn't really know what it was. She didn't take it too serious. And we missed a Zoom call, but actually they were on Central Standard Time.
Yes.
So we missed it by an hour.
We did. We missed our business meeting, y'all. How professional is that?
Right.
And he was like, did we miss something?
Yeah, but Newsbreak, I mean, that's a big app. They send me stuff all the time. They just sent me something on my phone. So
right.
That's real big, you know. We're proud of that. We're proud of ourselves.
Yeah, they reached out to us and said that they like what we do on our YouTube channel. So I was like, what? I mean, I know it's good stuff, but to acknowledge and say, oh, we like what you're doing was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was.
So we ended up reaching out to them and contacted them and getting it straight. We had our little meeting and they said, we want y'all aboard. So we're excited. That's the word is for this episode.
Right.
Yes. And marriage is not for the weak. We want to touch on 3 different things. A lot of different subjects within those. So
right. Marriage is not for the weak. It's not for the selfish. And it's not for the insecure.
That's so true. That's so true. Why do we pick this topic? I want to share with them that.
I mean, because it's easy.
It's easy for us.
It's easy for us, but maybe not easy for everybody. But I know it's easy for us. You know, ending this season off, season 1 with this last podcast, episode 6. You know, just something to touch on. We actually got the title from YouTube. Our fans did a poll.
Yep.
I mean, and that was the top one. So
we had some votes. Yep.
Yeah, we had a lot of votes. That's what
people want to hear. That's our background is we're certified. I'm life coach and my husband's a life coach. We promote love, family, marriage, and on our podcast and YouTube channel, this is exactly what we want to touch base on: relationships.
Right.
Touching base on relationships and building and strengthen those things within your life.
Are you weak?
I can't be weak married to you. Not at all. So our little bit of our background is we've been married for coming up next month 15 years.
15 years.
Yes, 15 long, hard years. Although,
well, you make it seem like it's a bad thing or something.
it's not a bad thing, but people got to know that we got a little bit of experience in this department.
Yeah, we know what's going on.
A little bit. So we're going to share our experiences.
Actually, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
15 years is not a little bit of time, though.
When I hear it, I'm like, because we're in it, I don't think anything of it. But when I tell people I've been married for 15 years, I'm like, wow. I'm like, is it that, serious?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so we want to give back to some people some of the things that we wish we had heard. Right. Coming and starting off and, just getting married, starting off in a relationship. And also things that people have shared with us.
Yeah, I grew up, my parents were married. I mean, it was never a dull moment. I mean, I remember my dad told me one time, my parents had an argument, right?
I know this got to be funny.
He packed his suitcase to leave. They were married, we were born. I mean, nobody's fighting. Just, I guess, a bad disagreement or something. So my dad packed his bag and put it by the front door. So what my mom did is went and sat on the suitcase and told him he can't leave. I mean, so he said, well, I might as well just stay there,
Right. So it just kind of got squashed itself, right?
Yeah, it did. But it's funny, but it's not. But
looking back at it, were you laughing?
Knowing my parents, that's funny, right?
And how long were your parents married for?
Oh, man, 27 years.
27 years. And then I'm coming off of that, my parents were never married, and I didn't really have an example of what a married relationship looks like. So it's so many of us out here that have a little bit of both, and they kind of like need...
Balances out.
Balance.
In our marriage.
Yes.
But I mean, when I first started talking to my wife, I'll be in my room, talk to her on the phone, and my parents is just...
I hear them in the background.
It don't even make sense. Like, are they arguing? No, that's just the way they talk to each other.
And we want to promote like healthy, like some of the things we're going to touch bases. Like we want it to be a healthy relationship. If you're in a type of relationship where you're arguing more than not, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
If most of your memories are negative and you're arguing all the time, that's not what we're trying to promote.
No, we're not. But I mean, you have to throw some kind of humor in it when you're married.
You have to. That's we're going to start with marriage, is not for the weak part, the first one.
Right.
There's going to be a million things that come up in your relationship and marriage that's going to really get you in a place where you have some ups and downs.
But you have to have healthy conflict.
Yes. Conflict is good because it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on with the other person.
Right. Well, that's why communication is important too. My wife might call me 3:00 in the afternoon about some money or something.
Oh, I call you about some money.
So we got to do this, move this around. It's just come out of nowhere.
That's
a lot
true.
of the times, but that's communication rather than just go ahead and doing something and me not knowing about it.
And the arguments, making it an argument, right?
Yeah, that make it an argument.
Yeah.
How come you did this? You didn't tell me. What are you trying to hide? Nothing at all. I just didn't think it was important for you to know. So, and
sometimes that's an argument, right? I'm thinking something is more important than he thinks is important. So it's just a part of communication.
It's being transparent too.
Yeah, definitely being transparent. So part of the weak, when we say not for the weak, meaning you have to be strong-minded and secure in the love for each other, right? And agree to disagree sometimes.
That's really important.
Really important, y'all. Because so many people share that with us.
Well, agreeing to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Sometimes no one's right.
Disagree sometimes too.
It's sometimes no one's right. You just kind of like getting off your chest, getting some things out that you really want to tell someone, and you're just so frustrated, it's built up that you're finally just exploding on each other.
Yeah, but that's not always good.
It definitely isn't. And disagreements can happen. It's a natural part of a relationship, but it is something that you have to use to your benefit of your marriage. You have to use those key things. What is they really saying? And listen to each other.
Yeah, because there's certain things that I don't like at all. And that she, she knows it. But it balances itself out eventually.
It's one thing I was talking to Sidney about is conflict. Like if it gives me a situation that he's adamantly upset about. And I feel as though it's like nothing. I'm like, whatever. I mean, we have those moments being honest and truthful in the podcast where we're like, I'm like not worried about it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm like, why are you still talking about it? Why are you still talking about it? And he will not let it go. And then it comes to a point in relationship where I have to respect that this man is setting a boundary. And boundaries are healthy in marriage. Like he's standing his ground like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put up with this. And it's one of those things where I have to respect him. I might not like what he's saying at the time, but thinking back that your husband or wife is setting a boundary, we all need to do that.
You have to elaborate on that because that can go a whole bunch of different ways. What are you talking about in particular?
Like an instance where you don't like a situation for what was some things we went through? Just give them an example.
Oh man.
Like in the first part of our relationship,
we were on the spot now. I shouldn't have said that.
He said, yeah, you on the spot. We used to try to do, like, for example, the club thing when we were young and first getting married. And then it was a point where as we were growing our relationship, Sidney just got out of the club scene.
I just didn't see no point in it.
Right.
That's just me. I might sound old.
These are arguments people have, though.
I done been to clubs all around the world.
Yeah.
But I'm married now. Why do I need to? I don't need to dress up. I was talking about this with one of my coworkers the other day. We talking about like all the Jordans and all that. So I'm like, man, I'm married. I don't need to try to impress nobody.
Yeah. Impress each other.
Yeah, but I mean, why do I need to dress up and go to a club for it and spend all that money on,
And somebody's priority may be like, I still want to go out and be social. I want to be able to go enjoy myself, which is nothing wrong with either one of them. But it got to the point where as we were building our relationship up and working on us,
it just didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense at the time for me to say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave you and go out and club," and he says, "I'm not going." So it comes to the point where I was making a decision: I'm gonna leave you home and we're gonna argue about it, or am I just gonna spend time working on us?
That didn't last long.
Yeah. So it was when he stood his ground, and I know one thing with my husband: if he does not give up and stand his ground, he's like, "I really want you to understand this." He will keep at it. He's not gonna give up. And I think that sometimes people get frustrated in those moments and keep on arguing, but just listen. Sometimes they're trying to tell you something like, "These are my boundaries," right? Another thing we want to touch on is mental health. We've had some situations where people have been in situations with someone where they have mental health issues. That's a whole nother ball game.
Right. That is. I mean, that's hard.
That is hard. We want people to understand, though, you have to seek out support. Like, you can be supportive of that person, but you can't solve their problems. You can't fix them.
Well, you can't give up on them either.
Right.
Especially, you're in a marriage. You can't give up on them.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
That's true. That's the big thing, that you understand that everybody's not perfect.
No.
They want your support through it, and you cannot blame yourself or beat yourself up about it. And sometimes you need to go seek out help to get you through the situation.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So moving on to the selfish part. It's built where marriage is not for the selfish.
Oh, it's not. It's like allow yourself to have interests and be united.
Yeah. So you could be who you are.
I'm who I am all the time. I like watching football. I like playing loud music. I like cooking outside. I mean, why would you have a problem with that?
I mean, going into it,
she enjoys it too. I make her so she enjoys it too. It's not just I have all my friends over the house. We're just cooking and partying and drinking and playing music.
Yeah, you include us too.
She's involved in it too. Don't let her fool you. Sometimes she changed the songs.
I'll be the DJ.
Last party we had, she was changing the song, but I mean, it's just something I like to do.
Yeah.
It's a hobby of mine, cooking,
Yeah, it brings the family together.
Yeah, it does.
I got to the point where I wasn't, at first I was thinking, he just wants to do what he wants to do. And then I kind of gave up and kind of joined it on the fun.
Yeah, everybody's eating. That's not selfish.
He's like, I'm cooking. That's enough,
cooking for
right?
everybody.
Right. So that was the argument. It wasn't even an argument. It was a disagreement that we got through, and just knowing that marriage is not 50-50.
No, it's not.
It's
Sometimes
definitely
it's
not.
Be 90-10, 80, whatever, 80-20, 70-30, whatever, 50-40, I mean, whatever.
I mean, so many different scenarios. Coming to North Carolina, I've shared many videos on podcasts, our podcast before, that I came here with the kids first, and Sidney was in Virginia for 9 months. So I was on my own, and I took a big pay cut.
Yeah, you did.
Moving here, I lost like $14 an hour. So then I had to look at myself and say, wow, I had to lean on this man and his income more. It was a very humbling experience, especially for a boss, like me. Type of woman I am. I like money. I like moving when I want to move. So it was an eye-opener.
Well, you still move the way you want to move.
I know, but I don't want to ask you for anything. And I was like, I had to learn that sometimes I have to lean on Mr. Gooch. I have to lean on Sidney a little bit. And he has to lean on me sometimes, And that's the part of marriage that people can't wrap their minds around having to do. It's a humbling experience, but people go through it,
Yeah,
Someone's going to school.
Yeah.
And someone has to, have less income coming in because they're going to go get a degree, and they have to take a step back and realize it's all going to benefit the family. It's all going to benefit the bigger picture.
Yeah, but people in marriages have to be mature enough to understand that.
It takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to go over Marriage is Not for the Weak, because there's so many different tidbits like this that people are going through and things that are happening within their marriage and relationships that are breaking people apart when it's an easy fix.
Also, it's just life too. It's a million things going on, especially if you have kids.
Yeah, a lot of stress.
Sometimes there are issues. Parents, grandparents, people start getting sick and all,
A million things. And I know for us in other relationships that people, we talk to couples and help, not counsel couples, life coach them through some situations. These things one thing can mess up your whole household. Like if I'm going through something with my family, Sidney feels it because he knows I'm upset. It affects the household. And then he helps me get through it by being a good husband. So those are things that you have to be prepared to do.
Like you married, being as long as we've been married, it's like I'm your counselor.
He's my life coach and I'm his. We've said that before.
Much. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's the way it works.
Yeah, sometimes he needs to coach me and I need to coach him. It's very true. So now for the insecure part, that's a big deal. The insecure part.
Okay, the insecure part. So elaborate on that for a minute, Miss Gooch. I want to hear this.
Insecure part. So we've had situations happen, with bringing outside people into your household or bringing outside people into your marriage. It can cause some insecurities.
Not into your marriage. Just have them around your spouse, period.
I mean, it's part of your marriage. It's your life. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we've had people share with us how having your circle, it's very important to keep a tight-knit circle. Keep people around us supporting your marriage.
Right.
Keeping
positive people.
Yeah, positive people. And we've learned things through experiences as well.
Yes, since moving to Charlotte, certain things happened that I wish hadn't happened.
Yeah, about when we were here maybe a year into a new place, a new area, area, and we were meeting new people. Just like when you come to a new area, you want to meet new people. So we were opening ourselves up to meet new couples and families, and not being from here, everybody's from somewhere else.
Right.
So we're excited about meeting some new people, saying, "Oh, we never had a group of married couples and whatnot." So we definitely had some experiences we would love to share. Not to elaborate too long on it, but it was one of those learning lessons for us.
Yes, it was.
We were introduced by some couples that were interested to meet us and connect with our kids and whatnot. And we were so excited about it. And then over time, the group grew into more marriage couples, more people. And it got to the point where we were exposed to all these married couples, and we thought it was the best thing ever. We're like, wow, it's never been like this for us. We've never been around this many married people.
Right.
But eye-opening, y'all. Disclaimer, I'm not giving any light to anyone at this time. I'm not going to feed into it too much, but when you introduce a lot of people, doesn't mean that they value marriage as much as you do, or they value people's respect and boundaries as much as you would expect.
Yes, that's true. We all had our own personal experience with it.
Yeah, so
waiting for it.
I'm coming into it. I just had another wife who was actually making advances and saying inappropriate things to my husband, and I was so shocked that this happened. I'm like, I was shocked too. Yeah, we were. We were shocked for a while. It took us a while. Within the group, we would joke about it. Oh, she's coming to see you. She loves you. One incident where we had a group thing. She came and told my husband outside she loved him. And then another wife heard her. And it was like, he told me after the fact, and then I asked around, and somebody said, yeah, I heard her. And then it was another instance where we kept going with it. We were having these group things each month. It was a different couple hosting it. And it would come to the point where she was, at one point, the last straw was she was chasing my husband around her kitchen at a Christmas party. You know what I mean? So it was like to the point I say, no, we're not going to do this. But my thing as an eye-opener, as a wife, and talking about the circle, not one wife spoke up and said that this is wrong. You know what I mean? That this is wrong. And we were like shocked that everybody's standard wasn't ours. So eye-opener. Everybody doesn't value what you value.
Marriage.
Everybody doesn't see that this is things that are a problem. It was a lot of excuses that were made for people's behavior, which we thought common sense was, I'm not going to chase your husband around the kitchen. Don't chase mine. You know what I mean? So it was eye-opener for me that your circle is like, because it was very destructive as far as what we went through after that fact. It was one of those things that
it made us argue for nothing.
We were arguing about the fact that, and no, my husband's never going to tell me anything that's not true as far as makeup stuff. We had been together so long. If he tells me this thing happened, it happened. Right. So being very careful who you surround your kids with. And I felt as a wife that I was...
The crazy part is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Her husband.
Yeah.
You.
And I felt surprised and shocked. And I learned a lot through that.
Yeah.
I learned a lot that, to trusting people and really evaluating who you keep around you. And I don't want my kids to watch a woman chase my husband around. That just
goes to show you that if we're in a bad place in our marriage,
right,
and something like that happened, my wife might feel kind of insecure about it. Like I would feed into something like that.
Right.
Which I don't love her. Never did. I don't even know her.
But if anybody has any insecurity issues or have past infidelity issues, that could tear your marriage apart right there. Yeah. They could literally break you back down to the place you started with for somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
So that was an example of a situation we went through since we moved to Charlotte. And we learned a lot. We grew from it. And we are very protective now of who we keep around, who we socialize with.
Right.
And in a marriage, who you keep around your family and in your marriage can really be detrimental.
I mean, it's really sad, though. Actually, it is.
Yeah.
Because, people see us, a married couple, we love each other. I guess she was trying to see how much I love my wife.
Yeah. Well, whoever it is, I'm not going to give you light, but you saw, and we still here.
Right.
And they not. And for lesson learned, though, as far as insecure, lack of self-love is one of the biggest reasons why it's insecurities in marriage. If I don't love myself, how can I love you?
Right.
Right? So that's one of the big things that people deal with within a marriage. Lack of self-love of themselves will be destructive on someone else. So working on your self-esteem, working on yourself can help benefit your marriage.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we've done too. We've done some self-work.
Yeah, we just glow up together.
Yeah.
We support each other in everything we're doing. We got a lot more stuff coming up.
Right. And this, when someone's doing their glow up, support them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, in not being insecure, don't support them and be hating on your own partner. Support them, love them.
Makes no sense at all.
It does happen, yeah. Some of the people we've talked to has shared that I'm doing better now, and I feel like they resent me. Right? They've shared with us.
Or in the process of them advancing themselves, it's a problem.
Right. All of a sudden, it's a problem.
Right.
So how do we go from there?
What you mean?
What do we tell them? How do we go from there? How can you work on that?
They're going to have to work on themselves first. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Maybe they should try to advance themselves too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'll work.
Then Miss Sidney was talking about some different business things, and he's always coming up with new ideas. He's the reason why we're doing the YouTube channel. He wanted to give back to people. He wanted to help people for a broader span, and his ideas helped me grow into like opening my eyes up what we could do.
Yeah, every day it seems like she's coming up with something else. I don't never shoot her down or nothing.
Right.
I mean, it's good ideas. It's not bad ideas.
That's what you got to do in a relationship, in a marriage. Support each other and realize that your insecurities may be a sign of stuff you need to work on. Like, this is like, I'm feeling a certain way about it. Well, why don't you get your glow up ready? So when he's done or she's done, then it's your turn. Go right into it. So some notes. There's no I in team. We have had so many people feel like they're doing more than the other person is doing in marriages.
Yeah. What you mean?
Like, more? I'm doing all the housework. I'm doing all this, and I resent the fact that I have to do so much, and then my partner's maybe just going to work and saying, well, where's dinner when I come home? We had some people share that they have had instances where they feel like they're doing way too much and the other partner's doing nothing.
Well, sometimes it could be a work in progress. Different schedules with different things.
Yeah.
I might not be able to do everything that I need to do if I work late, depending on how late I work or how tired I am. I can't do it. It's impossible.
Right.
And I'm glad that my wife understands it.
It took us some time.
Yeah, it did.
It did take us right time, away. Y'all. I didn't understand it at first. We went through some things where I'm like, look, we need to fix this situation.
Yeah, sometimes on days off, you just have to make up and just do all the stuff that you couldn't do while you were working.
And I had to realize, like he said, he's working late. So it's not like he's out in the streets or doing anything inappropriate in our marriage. I had to do some self-work and realize this man's out here trying to make money for our family.
I'm not trying, I am.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're doing things positive that's going to affect our family for the better. So I had to do my own thing where I had to figure out, like, I need to realize this is silly. This is not a big deal, and work through that myself.
You told me that?
No, I told myself that.
Okay, because I know you didn't tell me that.
Oh, I have to tell you that. I told myself, so, as long as I know. Oh, my gosh. He's funny,
I knew
right?
I was going to get you.
Yeah, I know. He was going to make me laugh.
I was waiting on it.
That's another thing in marriage. We're talking about laughter.
Yeah, we laugh all the time.
Yes.
I don't think half the time we're not even serious,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not,
I'll say something I think is so serious and be upset, and then he'll just make me laugh.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets your mind off of it, Laughter cures the heart,
Like, for example, I'll give him an example. I'm fired up about something, and I'm telling him this, and that, and he was like, so you gonna comb your hair today? And I have to laughing. I'm like,
you gonna keep the bonnet on all day?
Are you gonna walk around with a bonnet? And I'm like, why can't you be serious? Well, it lightens the mood. It gives you an example of how to bounce off each other. And that person's really ranting and raving. And you're like, if it's not serious, like health reasons or someone's, life is on the line, then kind of lighten the mood sometimes with laughter works.
Yeah, my kids never know when I'm serious.
Yeah. They know you joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. That's true. Definitely. So when we have a part in our podcast where we get feedback from others, we don't want to just sit up here and tell y'all this stuff just from our marriage. We get feedback from others. So we reach out and say to our community, to our fans, share us an email that you want a question answered. And then we share it on here. And then sometimes the people are anonymous. Sometimes the people share their names. And so we want to give y'all that part of this podcast. So we not just saying this, it's other people.
Right.
We're going to do the question first.
Okay, the first one is anonymous question. We argue all the time. How to get along and settle.
Mm-hmm. And this is anonymous. They rather say anonymous. And I respect that.
So what's your answer to that? How do you get along and settle? Now argue all the time.
They are arguing all the time, you said.
It depends on what you're arguing about. Mm-hmm. What are you arguing about?
If you're arguing, like we said earlier, more than you're not, then that's not good. So
yeah, but if you're arguing, you're you're loud, you're raising your voice, nobody's listening.
Right.
So one person needs to talk, the other person needs to listen.
So listening skills is a big deal.
Communication. You know.
So the keys there, listening and communication.
Listening and communication, but it also, what are you arguing about? Is a spouse home? Is he gone? Is he out all night? Is he gone for 2-3 days at a time? Who knows?
Right.
I mean,
you can have healthy conflict. That's not the thing. You can have healthy conflict where you're trying to solve a problem, but the disagreements are taken over to the point where all you do is argue.
Yeah, then nobody's listening. Yeah, then nobody's listening.
You can't be thinking of an answer before the person can even get the sentence out.
Yeah, that's called argument.
Yeah, because then you're not listening to what they're saying. And a lot of times the arguments are a sign of something that needs to be worked on.
Yeah, maybe it's a cry for attention.
Right. So just have conversations and just break down. Like, you know, I hear you. You know, how can we fix the problem? You know, and then they'll probably be surprised you said that, because you're usually coming back with a response, like back yelling at them, disagreeing with them. But if you sit down and say, how can we fix this problem? Like, really, well, let's sit down and we got all these issues. Well, let's fix solutions. Let's find some solutions for the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Communication.
So that's the question. You spending most of your time learning how to listen to each other is the key elements in communication. And just an advocate for, let's just sit down and break this down.
Yeah, but you have to want to get along. Sometimes some people can be difficult.
Yeah.
Some people don't listen.
So what do you do in that case? What do you have advice to do if they're difficult and don't want to get along? What do you suggest?
Write them a note.
Write them a note?
Yeah.
So you're surprising them.
Yeah, write them a letter. This is the way I feel. We need to do this, do that. Or
text. That's another thing Sidney does. He'll text and say his point across. Because then I can't interrupt, because I just have to read it at that point.
Oh, so you're guilty of this. So you're telling yourself this one.
I feel the person. You know, we have disagreements. Ain't nothing perfect over here. We want to be very transparent. So if I'm disagreeing, I'm not listening, Sidney will send me a text message because I have to read it. You know, it might be something important about the kids. It might be something important I need to know about money. So I'm going to read it, you know, and there's no interruptions with a text message because I'm just reading it.
But not everybody's good at communication. Their communication skills are not the greatest.
Right.
So sometimes I suggest write notes around the house. Or that's if you want to work through whatever you're going through.
Right.
And not argue all the time. You know?
So I feel like if you're doing these things, if you're trying to work towards maybe writing notes or trying to work to try to change the dynamics of the disagreements and the person's not receiving that point, then you have to look at, is this person really want to be in this?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and really do some other next level work. I'm an advocate for therapy. I'm an advocate for outside resources like a pastor, counselor, or even a married couple that's been doing it a while. Just going to someone and just touch base. If you ask your partner to go do that to help your marriage and they still don't want to, that's a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Maybe they're just giving up.
Yeah. And at that point, you have to do what you have to do. You know, we don't advocate any abuse, emotional, physical, or mental abuse. We don't advocate any of that. Things can be worked through. We want you to understand, like a lot of millennials, our daughter's 22, shares with us, people get a little disagreement, they throw in the towel. You know, they just give up.
We wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, it's going to be some rough roads, but they shouldn't be putting their hands on you. They shouldn't be breaking you down to nothing. They should never make you feel like you're nothing. The one thing I love about my husband is he makes me feel beautiful. He loves me for all my stretch marks, who I am, everything I've been through. Yeah, and if he ever made me feel like I was nothing or that I was not worthy enough to be a good mother, a good wife, a good woman, then I don't need to be with him.
Yeah, but it also goes both ways too. You know. Not just the breaking down stuff is not just male on the spouse. I mean, husband on the spouse. It could be the wife on the husband.
True, true, y'all.
Making them feel bad.
It goes both ways.
You don't make enough money, whatever. You know. I mean, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an example, you know. But it goes both ways, though.
Right. It does go both ways. It's not a woman. It's not a wife thing to man. It's definitely both. And as some men, the pride is the value, take care of your family. Bring in an income, take care of your wife and kids or whatever may have you. So that's a sensitive subject of both ways.
Right.
Right. So we're going to go into a comment shared by a couple that's been married 25 plus years. Kevin and Donna want to share this. You have to tune out the nonsense and keep your memory short. Thank you, Kevin and Donna, for sharing this information. 25 plus years.
Keep your memory short.
Congratulations on making it 25 plus years in marriage, too. And sharing that with us and the audience. You have to keep your memory short. You know, you have to weed through the nonsense.
So what's the nonsense?
All this little small stuff that don't even matter. Sometimes we have a conversation. I have to tell him, let's focus on money. Let's focus on these kids because none of that matters. Then I redirect him back to what the subject at hand was, what we was talking about. So Kevin and Donna, you have to tune out the nonsense and just focus on you guys. A lot of times people feel selfish for just loving each other and working on each other, but you don't feel selfish because sometimes you need to do that because it's you and me in the end in a marriage, you know? All that other outside people, they want to have opinions. They want to have rights, but they don't. You know, at the end of the night, it's just me and my husband, you know? And that's
opinions.
All. Yeah, they want to have opinions and rights, and they don't. Right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Kevin and Donna, 25 plus years. We commend y'all.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. I'm listening to this advice ourselves. We're taking it in. And the next one we just shared was Lisa and Calvin. Their comment, they've been married 10 plus years. Be willing to grow and adapt with your partner. Remember that love is the love that brought you together is the bond that keeps you together. Keep actively looking for things to enjoy together.
That's true because that's what we do. You know, I mean,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Everything's changing all the time. You know, just like this time last year, it's not the way it is now.
Exactly.
Besides what was going on, you know, but it seems like each year keep getting better and better.
Better and better. And just finding those date nights, time for those date nights and time together is important. Right. You know, we're we're advocates for taking that time apart.
Yeah,
and getting back to each other.
I have a funny story on vacation. We tried to sneak off.
Yeah.
Our kids, man. I mean, it's probably like 12 o'clock at night.
Oh.
We're at the beach.
Tried is the word.
We try to go to the beach and just walk around. The kids are on the balcony yelling at us. Hi. I say, go to bed.
They're like, hey, Mom and Dad, you know. I'm like, that's our kids.
I knew exactly who it was.
Oh, my God. We thought we put them to bed, right? We was like, we're going to go walk on the beach. Them poor people that was sitting out on their balcony looking at us like, really, get your kids. They were like, we're trying to sit out here. Sit on the balcony and have some peace of mind.
They're old enough to watch each other, though. They was fine. That wasn't
we got teenagers, but and the little guy, 5-year-old, Sidney Jr. Hi, Mom. I'm like, why did y'all let him come out there?
How did they know he was out there?
And then I'm trying to ignore them because I'm like, I don't know them. He's like, go to bed. He's yelling it from the beach because we're on beachfront. Go to bed. I say, everybody in the world knows that our kids out here.
It just messed up everything.
On this balcony. It messed up the mood, y'all.
So after that, I'll tell y'all what we did. We plan our anniversary trip next month.
Yes.
So we're not taking the kids. We love them. We're not taking them.
We were going to take them. The plan was, we had the plan of where we're going, but we were going to take the kids and have them experience it. But then that day, we decided we're not taking them kids. We changed our mind. So just taking that time you need because we never had a date night the whole trip.
No, we didn't.
We never took time to just have a little something of each other. Nope. Some time.
Couldn't.
So I think that's what they mean when they say.
Yeah, I know.
Look for things to enjoy on a regular basis.
We tried to. We couldn't. But I mean, I'm not upset about it. I know you're not. But.
No, it happens. You know, when you have kids, you can't. That's another part of being a parent. Yeah, you know, just get it in when you can fit in.
Right.
Yeah, so those examples from Lisa and Calvin. Thank you guys for submitting that comment. 10 plus years. We commend y'all.
Yep.
You know, anything that's anybody had years or even months. This is a journey. Okay, with someone else, you have to put your pride aside. You have to put all your stuff aside, and you have to cohabitate with someone else. So it's work. It's something that it's not so easy to do. Right. You know, so we commend y'all, and then we have our own stories that we want to share, little funny stories.
Which one?
Oh, we have a lot, y'all. But just to go off of that stuff, like you said about the beach trip, putting the nonsense and keeping your memory short. Mm-hmm. You have a story you want to share with that one?
About the memory short? No, not really. Mm-hmm. Not off the top of my head. Maybe you can remind me.
Just when our relationship as we grew over the years, and we transitioned, and we had a lot of family, on both sides that were at first had a lot of opinions, and they were trying to, connect us and say what they wanted to say, but we had to definitely put all that stuff aside.
That's the short memory stuff.
Yeah. And realize that none of that stuff matters.
You have to be smart enough to realize what somebody's trying to do.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Some of the situations were a lot of examples. Some people weren't used to a marriage and focusing on just your marriage. So they try to get you to do the same old stuff you used to do, like go out and hang out and do all these things. And we had to really kind of keep on showing and telling them that we are working on us. We're building something here.
Yeah, united.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So having a short memory of like what it was in the past and just letting it go and then focus on the future.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice. So anything you want to share before we jump into our news that we're gonna give the people? Exciting news.
Share about what? What are you talking about?
I said anything you want to share before we jump off, before we give the news.
Nah.
I think that as far as gentlemen go, my husband's kind of reached out. Our son went over to Korea, and that's new since we've been on our last podcast. And we've learned his growth has been like, it seemed like he's a different man right now.
He was at the same base I was at
in Korea,
and I know how it is, and we made sure that we were there for him.
Because that's one of the things we did while we've been gone, y'all. Graduation.
I skipped work and everything to go.
He said, I ain't going.
That's when, he's just 20, so he's just learning. He knows how to communicate, but sometimes he says stuff that's not true. He's just guessing. But we missed the whole graduation, but we were there.
We were there.
We got to see him. He didn't know when he was graduating. I don't think they told him. I don't know.
It's last minute. And then we were traveling.
It's a funny part of the story. We're on the phone with him. Like, where are you at? Oh, I'm behind this brick building right here.
He slouched down.
They told us we can't leave,
Because of COVID. It was very restrictive. So we were trying to see our son.
Go POVs with regular people. It was something else.
It was a whole big mess where he only had a limited amount of time. He only could be around a limited amount of people. But my son was like, I'm going to see my mama. I'm going to see our family. So he was hiding behind the wall.
But we had to make the trip. It was important because I did it myself.
Yeah.
Actually, when I went into the military myself, my parents couldn't make anything.
Right.
So I knew how important it was to see people that you know.
Yeah.
When you're going to be gone for a while.
That's true.
And he calls all the time, 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, because the time is different. And also the graduations had just opened up.
Yeah, they did.
They had just opened up.
We missed it. Yeah.
They was because they had shut everything down. So it was no graduations in person. It was all online and virtual. So he was one of the first groups that were actually able to have family come. So everything had to be worked out, with all the details and stuff. So we were going to go with it, certain amount of people could be inside the building at the time. So we were there, we were seeing it. We just didn't see him. We were there, we saw him, but it was a short amount of time than we expected.
Yeah, just to get something to eat and mess with him.
And hug on him, and mama cried.
I know you got some money now.
I know.
I see your wallet full.
That's the most money he ever had because he, was building up. He's sitting up there at boot camp and whatever, and he's just building money up.
Yeah, but it's good to see a change in him. He talks different.
Yes.
He acts different.
Yes. He doesn't say all the slang and yin yang, he's like, speaking. He spoke respectfully to us, and he was always had manners to others. But you could just tell the way he walks and talks is definitely different.
Yeah, we're proud of him.
We're proud of all our kids, though. And then the girls have some stuff going on.
Oh yeah,
they're building their business up. Sister Sense, they're building a candle business, and they are working on making candles sit together in the business. So I commend them because our kids are always thinking of stuff to do.
Turn up the kitchen.
And they're babysitting.
Yep. They got some money yesterday. Their whole attitude changed.
Yeah. They definitely, are enjoying the next level of being a little older,
Yeah.
and they really love what they're doing. So we're excited for all of them. And Sidney's going to kindergarten.
Yeah.
He's going to go to kindergarten, y'all, with his big sisters. So our last one of 5 is going to be going off to school with his sisters.
They're not too happy about it, though.
They don't want to take him on a bus and deal with him. I said he's going to be a perfect angel. They looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, at school, but not at home.
No. He does good in school.
Yeah, he does.
The question is, will he do good at school with his sisters, though?
He better.
Will he be the same? Because before he went to preschool, it was 2 different schools. But he was a perfect angel there. So we're going to go with it, y'all. So we like to fill y'all in with some news, some upcoming news that we have to share. We are launching our new website, loveliveshere06.com, where we're going to be launching our relationship courses. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited, y'all. And we are going to give y'all some more. We're doing personal consulting, relationship consulting. And we will be launching that, loveliveshere06.com. That will be launched. And then also, I have a women's empowerment book club I'm starting August 9th. And I'm going to be doing it virtually. You can see above, it's going to be a link talking about that. If you're interested in it, you can always email us at loveliveshere06@gmail.com. If you're interested in it, I can send you the Zoom information, the invite. And the book we're going to start with, y'all, is We Should All Be Millionaires, A Woman's Guide to Earning More, Building Wealth, and Gaining Economic Power by Rachel Rodgers. I've been reading this book, and I think I'm a millionaire already, y'all. The women in this book are amazing. She's amazing. She's actually here in North Carolina. She moved from New York and moved down here and bought a home, a ranch, a 53-acre ranch with her husband here in North Carolina. And she just shows you how us as women are very disproportionate with income. Like the millionaires are like 90% of millionaires are men and 10% are women and 2% are black women. So
I like that.
I need y'all to understand we can make that money. Listen how resourceful we are. We always taking a little bit of nothing and making a whole lot. So she's breaking it down in this book how we need to understand that we have so many talents, so many gifts, and we can give back to by making money off of them. And I love this book. And I'm doing a book club. This is the first one we're starting on, and I'm excited. So open up your mind to the possibilities.
My wife's amazing. She's something else.
So sweet. Oh.
She's very creative. She's very creative. A little more creative than me, but you know.
No, we definitely bounce off each other.
Yeah, I like that book club.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm excited to get in there with some women because I know that we got daughters and we know women, and we're gonna try to work on building us up, and the guys too. My husband's coming with something after I finish this one up. He has something coming too.
Yeah, I got
for the guys. The book club, the website, and then. Highlight of season 2. This is going to be the last episode of season 1.
Yeah, we're going to focus on, a lot of the same things from season 1.
Yeah.
But probably more detailed.
Diving in deep.
Family, love. We can't give y'all too much.
Right.
Just keep a little general.
Yeah, and then we know we're diving into some big issues within our community, within our family, that's going on right now.
Well, community too.
Yeah.
Want to get into that.
Touching base a little bit deeper, having some more awesome guests on here, and giving y'all some feedback in different subjects that they specialize in.
Right.
And we will be coming with season 2 shortly in the fall. We got to get these kids back in school. We got to get them back in school, and we'll be coming with season 2 in the fall. So wrapping up, we're excited to be back in here. I know it's been a while since we did the podcast.
Yeah, it's been about 4 months.
Yeah, just like I said, we've been to 4 different states traveling, doing stuff with these kids, vacations, and work, because we still got to work, y'all.
Yeah, we still have full-time careers.
Plus this business we're building with consulting and relationship coaching. So
we talk about this every night. My wife's home. Just something else new every day. It seems like she comes with something new.
He does too.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Something.
The glow up together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to support each other in a marriage. It works.
It works. I hope you guys have a great marriage. If you're married, if you want to be married.
We hope we help somebody else.
We hope you help someone. Yeah. If you're looking to get married, don't be scared. It's not we hope we didn't make y'all feel like it's something that you can't do. It can be done.
Yeah, we was both 25 when we got married. And we're in our 40s now. I just turned 40. She's older than me.
6 months older.
6 months. She's still older.
I'm a cougar. That's what I told him. We laugh about it. So funny. But he think he's a spring chicken. I said, when you hit 40, you going to fall apart. This man, no lie, hit 40, he started hobbling around.
Oh, come on, don't say that.
Did you not?
I didn't hobble anyway.
You did. You was like, oh, I feel it. I said, I did not tell you hit that 40. It ain't no joke. So we hope that we help someone. Marriage is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
We love being married.
Don't be discouraged about getting married.
Yes.
You love somebody, just go for it.
Go for it.
You're getting along.
Life's short.
Yeah, it is.
And then y'all can work all the rest out as you go. Nothing's perfect. Even your relationships at work with them people you don't like, you're going to work it out because you want that money.
Don't let nobody else dictate your happiness. You want to be happy with that person, you be happy with them. Don't your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, it don't matter. They don't have nobody. Hey, ain't nothing you can do about it. You have somebody, you have them, love them if they want to love you.
Listen.
Yeah,
Listen to the man. He told me, everybody said we're moving too fast. 2 months into it, he was like, I ain't going nowhere. We in this together. And I'm like,
we moving too fast. They don't even have nobody.
Right.
They didn't have nobody.
And I was like, I felt like, is there a time limit on things? Should we be going a little slower? He was like, I ain't going nowhere. It could be down later, but I'm still here. And I was like, oh gosh, this is amazing. I mean, some people don't have that example too. And I was like, we still here, y'all. Been here for 17 years, married 15 next month.
Yep.
So you guys have a great whatever afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. And until next time.
See y'all later.
All right.